Hi Scorpio, welcome back for your August reading. Big shout out to Lauren. Okay, we've changed these readings up a little bit and I've added a few additions to this. Now for your general section of the reading, I'm adding the equation of money and what is going on in that area, as well as a family zone connected to how you're directly relating to your family and the general energy connected to both. And then we'll go through to the couple section. And in the middle, I've added an equation, and that's for those of you who maybe are dealing with a crossroad, can be directly connected to the relationship. It doesn't have to be about the relationship as per se. It could physically be that you're at a crossroad, and it could be anything to do with finances within the relationship, or just basically a crossroad scenario directly connected to where you're at and what to do. So there's a scenario that I've thrown in the middle there. And it can be connected to, you know, another person if that's the case. And then on to the singles. So, Scorpio, what's going on with you guys? Sorry, being attacked by hair. It's the hassle when you've got too much of it. Money. And as for the chakra cards, I'm going to try and tune into the energy, and because I have actually put them away and I can tune into it, so that's cool. And we'll gauge what is going on with you guys. I don't think money's the highlight for you guys in a sense this month. I don't think it's the, it's needed, but I don't feel it's the be all and end all. I think there's other areas of your life that are actually in highlight more so than cash for some reason or another, but it doesn't mean to say that it's not important and that there isn't going to be messages connected to it. But I do feel a lot of your energy is actually connected to different scenarios, and it might be connected to, okay, well, I want to go left or right. How is the money actually going to be part of this equation? You might have money and then you're wanting to use it in a particular way, but I'm sort of feeling as though for some reason money's not the biggie. Okay, family. I can see one person in particular within the family that is bringing about concern. And you're concerned about their well-being. It might be their health. Again, I'm not a doctor. Feels as though you're concerned about them. I do feel there might be communication connected to this, or your opinion directly connected to their health and how they're going, and maybe what you think they should perhaps be doing. And it might be the key that for you, whatever you're doing connected to your family, a family, and money, that whatever you're going to do has absolutely nothing to do with anything. It's got more to do with you and your choices, not anything external, which somebody can directly point at and say, you're doing it for this reason. Because in life, nothing's always black and white. Not that black and white anyway. Okay. Now, and for the energy around you. Yeah, I do feel it's decisions. I do feel it's decisions directly connected to you and what's right for you this month. New directions and how it will directly impact you. And yes, of course, it will plateau down to other areas of your life, but it's directly linked to you. That's what I'm being shown. Okay. I think your third eye is very active this month, and I'm feeling as though you've had to do a lot of internal work connected to what you're wanting to do and what way you're wanting to go. And it's nothing you haven't reflected on very heavily and very carefully. And you are concerned of other people's feelings, but you know ultimately you sort of feel like a little mouse on a wheel. and you've been going over and over and over the scenario in your mind, and it feels as though you have physically thought of every aspect, every domain connected to this one choice that you're making. So you have thought out this choice very carefully. Now, for some, this actually could be work. For some, it could be a relationship or a road or a location. But it's a very important decision, whatever this is. And yes, you do know it will affect other people, but ultimately it's your decision, whatever this decision be. So it could be connected to land, it could be connected to, no, it's very much connected to you personally. So like I said, I'm sort of feeling as though this has nothing to do with money, nothing to do with family. It's a very, very personal thing where you've done some internal growth and you've very much changed. And it's the universe is saying, don't think about anything else, because ultimately the things of it feels like an awakening almost. And it's just like that, you know, and you've gone, because you can't kind of hide the noise in your mind of what's already there. So it's nothing you can avoid. Okay, financially, you believe that everything will be fine financially, and that directly money is not the area now you mentally and emotionally need to focus on. And maybe you were worried too much about money in the past, and it can be directly connected to family, but now you're realizing that as long as you have enough, that's all that matters. That ultimately your health, your happiness, if you have that internally, you can actually give that to other people. But if you don't have that, and again, it feels like, you know, your third eye, your internal, just this sense that you need to be free. And free from the restraints that you've caused, and it can be connected to a finance, can be connected to a way of living that it's been exuberant, or perhaps living in a way that was unnecessary. So if you've found that doors in certain aspects of life have been closing, again, I'll say it's not that you're being punished. Maybe they're asking you to look at it from a different angle. But for you, the vibration I'm feeling is that you've changed. And if that means financially, you throw your finances to the wind for your sanity, I do feel you could actually do that this month. Okay, you're not having time out connected to this because you have this in reverse, and it could be directly related why something has to change. Because maybe all you're doing at the moment is working, and yeah, there might be cash, and but it just feels like this wheel, and it could be directly connected to family. And, you know, spiritually speaking, your intuition's been telling you about this situation for a while, but you've let the wheel go too long, and you're feeling quite wound down. But I wouldn't be surprised if you're doing a little bit of time traveling in your mind. And when I say time traveling, you know, sometimes when we're physically thinking on where it all started and how it all come about, sometimes we can come to a point where our guides and our messengers help us to go back over old ground to actually look at why, when it started, you know, why did you let that go on so long? Because it feels like a cog in the wheel. And they're helping you through your dream state actually look back over it in order to gain some perspective into perhaps why you were doing things, and why you're putting so much pressure on yourself to make a scenario so very perfect. And they're asking you to get back to basics and actually try and ground yourself and realise family is everything. Yes, but so are you. You are your own family. You're your own bubble. And you are as important as any other family member. That at the moment it feels as though the way you've been working has been for family to the detriment of your health. And spiritually speaking, it's put you out of balance. And if it keeps going that way, it's not going to serve the higher purpose. No finances can bring back that sense of being grounded, and something has to change. So it's moving to a point it can't go any further. That's just the finance. So that's what I mean. It just wasn't feeling financial related. It was like, you know it is, and you're doing everything you need to, and there is money, or, you know, you're doing everything connected to money, but something connected to it feels out of balance. Okay, family-wise, they're not knowing what to do, and perhaps it's your energy coming through directly connected to the family, that perhaps if you need time out, what would happen? You know, whether it be you have the backup in a sense, and maybe the reason you're doing it is to create that backup so that you can have that pause in the plans so you can physically move forward with whatever you want to do. And it might be like that transitional phase where you say, I just can't do this anymore. And you're getting tighter and tighter and you're saying, got to keep going, got to look after this, got to look after that. I mean, it could just be you being solo, you know, and you knowing that you're the only one who is your own backup. So you need to do that. And you're thinking, well, gee, how am I going to do that if, you know, I'm totally worn out? I do feel you have had a holiday. And this might have been 1 to 2 months ago, but it wasn't a holiday. And it feels as though you're going to need to, but this trip is not going to be with family. This is going to be your trip. So it can, again, be an internal trip, or it can be you actually knowing that you need to allow yourself to become grounded to a point where you can have something for you, because at the moment you're feeling quite tired and quite spent. And you're not even having times to actually, you know, think about it. So a lot of the time, you know, it could be you're doing night shift or day shift, and, you know, part of your stories are not even there anymore because it feels like Groundhog Day. So it feels like you're doing the same repetitive thing over and over again, like a mouse in a little cartwheel. Wee. My girlfriend's going to kill me. Yeah, it is. Hi, Peaches. Okay, so, it feels as though part of the story that you have, that you need to have that sense of realisation is that, you know, the best is yet to come. But yet when you're so busy, you just don't have time to see that. And something has to change in order for the story to continue on. Now, the storytelling can be a sense of, like I said, you could be traveling in your dream state, and, you know, your guides could actually be showing you things that you need to address. That can be spiritually, emotionally, mentally. But what's being shown is that, you know, ultimately speaking, the reasons you do things, the key to your heart is love. So you do things because you can. You do things because you know it's your responsibility. You're a very honourable person. You're a very caring person. But although you're white lighted and you are protected, you also have to choose to put you first just now and then. That you're the key to everything. So if you're not first at some point, it won't matter if people have the key because you'll be tired. Your intuition is very good as well. And again, you know, we all in some shape or form have the element of a psychic gift. Now, your intuition is very, very heightened at the moment. So I feel that whatever you're moving into this month, you're fully aware of what is changing, how you're changing. And I feel spiritually you're growing. And I do feel if you are experiencing headaches and that of the sort, you might find that your third eye is opening, and it might feel, what's the word? You might start experiencing very unusual symptoms that you're sort of thinking, oh, what's going on here? And then, you know, from your peripheral vision, start seeing things of the such. What you might find is it's because you're waking up, you're actually changing, and maybe you're getting into that dream state where you're getting quite tired. So, you know, try and rest and try and ground yourself. Yeah. You're not as grounded in your general energy because you've got this card in reverse. So, you know, as a parent figure, if you're a parent figure, you need to ground yourself, and you need to have a little bit of, you know, R&R and rest in your time. That, you know, in order for you to give to others, you need to give to yourself as well. You have to look after yourself. But you're not doing that. And that might be a temporary energy. It might be what you're choosing to do for an outcome of a situation. So you might be tying up loose ends, or planning for a trip. So you're kind of cramming, and you're moving into the month like that for a purpose, I'm feeling. So again, I'm not feeling money is an issue as per se. I'm feeling a break is in order. Even if it's a break. Could be a bubble bath or get a pillow, camp out on the grass. A break is in order. You're very tired. Okay, let's get on to the couples. I have shuffled these, but I'll do it again. That was my knuckles. Couples, what do we got going on for you guys? Okay. Crosswise. Okay, I'm being told to not take an energy personally. Now that could be connected to your partner or for your partner to not take it personally, or for you. It can be that a conversation has arisen and somebody is taking something personally. Very strange. Somebody's sticking their heels in about something as well. Undecided yet whether it's you or them. Oh, you're quite okay. You're very similar. I'm feeling it. You're very similar. You're both being stubborn, and I don't know about what yet. I can both see you kind of standing there, and it's like you're mirroring each other, and the way neither one of you, it's like you both said something, then neither one of you is saying something, then you're going back to saying something, and it's like you, if you could see your feet, it looks like your feet are in mud, but you're being stubborn. Don't be stubborn. Go have a bubble bath. You're tired. Let's see what it's saying. The reasons why it's like this. Okay, geez, guys. Yes, well, okay. So, your partner's energy is being assertive and actually speaking their mind. You're actually feeling energetically low, and again, I did say that you were going to be feeling quite tired, and it can be because you're overworking or overthinking a scenario or pushing. So if you are actually planning to go somewhere and it's a break, because I kept hearing break, coming up to the point where it's getting closer, planning and closer to the day, or closer to a holiday of some description, or needing that break physically, both of you are just angry. Yeah. So the way you're actually directly relating to each other is feeling quite moody. And it's connected to, you know, a clash of wills of what you think both of you should be doing. I think you're starting to acknowledge the fact that both of you are different, yet both of you are so similar. And, you know, energetically speaking, it's like both of you are very strong individuals. Both of you are very assertive. And it's different. It is a different strength. But it's like you're asserting yourselves to show, and it's like, it's like you have a competitive nature. And this can be in a very playful format. It doesn't have to be in an aggressive way. So it could be like partners watching football and, you know, opposite teams and things like that. But it feels like there's quite a competitive or energetic energy between the two of you of one has to be right. It doesn't necessarily have to be that both of you are angry at each other. but your partner's really standing their ground connected to this, and you're unwilling to waver from this, and you know, you think this is unfair, whatever is going on at the minute. And it can be connected to money, and maybe one or the other is, you know, coping with it a little bit more so than the other, and you're concerned about cash connected within the relationship, and the way in which you think they're dealing with it is making both of your energies connected to your communication. You know, in order to have that positive outcome, you're being careful. So perhaps what it was in the past is now very different, and therefore both of you are being very careful about how you use money, because your life is changing, and you know, one of you really doesn't want to, but you know ultimately this is necessary. You're actually feeling it's unfair. So the monetary aspect, if it isn't directly connected to a holiday, it's just in general connected to the budget and a change of life and the way things are going to be, you're not liking the way it's having to go through, and it's kind of, you feel it's unfair. You feel it's on your head, so to speak. This is causing your partner a great deal of stress, and it is making them quite unwell physically. You know, and the energy between you could be due to a past scenario that you thought within the relationship was a betrayal. You know, and ultimately you want the marriage, you know, the happy home and all the rest of it. And your partner is quite working hard, but still remembering things that maybe went wrong. And there are arguments between you connected to this. So I feel there's an aspect of themselves that in some shape or form they're feeling that they are who they are. And they want to know that ultimately you love them for who they are. So if you can change that energy and you can actually see them in that light, it's totally up to you within your heart how you physically feel about that. But you're just picturing that's what you're wanting. And at the moment, that's who they are. So they're doing the best they can, but, you know, that's what you're wanting. That's your end result. Well, they haven't even made it to that end result yet. So it's saying you might need to waver on the time frame of that. Divine timing. Okay, so it's not about a new love. You got that in reverse. And it's actually not about family, but someone who is needing upon another in a sense. So there may be one breadwinner all of a sudden, and it could be due to somebody being a little bit under the weather, and maybe the budget isn't so great. And you're saying it's not about the money. If you're wanting a booking. I'll pull 3 cards for that. 3 clarity cards. And then we'll get on to the people in the middle. Okay, so okay, laws of attraction. If you're fearing something, it will happen. If you're wanting something positive, it will happen. Be very cautious of your vibration during the month of August. Try and understand the other's perspective. Try and be patient, but also respect your perspective of what's good for you. So if you've changed, or you're feeling tired, or you're feeling in some sense there's no forward motion and things aren't changing as quick as you thought, it's completely okay to have the vibration of this isn't quite what I thought it was going to be. But I think if you've got to that, it's been a long time coming, so that message will not be for everybody. But there is still passion connected here. Even anger is directly passion, and I'm not talking violent outbursts. I'm talking like frustration. It's an aspect of love in a different way. Okay, as I said, you're both being stubborn because make the effort, you got it in reverse. But that's okay. There's a reason why you're doing things. You are who you are. And it's not about a past situation, okay, because you've got this in reverse. So it's not about that, although you might be thinking it is. So your vibration of how you're feeling, take it for what it is in the here and now. It's not the past. That's what I'm being shown. And again, I do open these early. Don't panic. Go back and gauge it. Now, in between us, what messages do we have for you? This is the middle edition. What advice do we have for you guys? Okay. Okay, people are talking about your situation of what you're going through, and they have opinions, and they might be talking behind your back, and this is frustrating you. I do feel if this is the case, you will actually know who the person is, and you may have heard something and it's making you cross. And in this situation, you are the innocent person connected to what you're hearing, and it frustrates you. But I sort of feel as though they don't know your strength, because I do feel, unfortunately, are going to be very regretful that they did that. Through this energy, you're going to need to calm down. You will need to have that energy where you can become grounded, because you are going to speak to this person and it has made you very cross. And I do feel you're going to have words with them, because you were trying to deal with this and you were feeling unhinged of how you feel connected to the situation you're currently in, whatever that be. And the person who you entrusted has not to be trusted, and that's upset you. And it doesn't have to be that they've gone to the incorrect person and said something, but an aspect of their behaviour has proved to you that you can't actually trust them, and that's really made you feel quite hurt by that situation. Now, it can be connected to your partner, you know, if you're physically feeling at that crossroad, and that's only for the ones that are feeling at the crossroad. But it is a situation where not only do you have external conflict, you have the internal conflict connected to it as well. And it's because you're learning something, or you're learning about your strength and your abilities and what you're made of. And maybe you're learning something more about this person. And it doesn't feel like new information. It more feels it's connected to a summary of a scenario that you have decided that it's a left or right. So if that's been the case for you, this message will directly relate to you, and you will choose what way. And I do feel there's two roads, obviously two ways you're going to go, two ways in which you're going to handle it. And it's something that you've planned, all right? And there will be an ending to it, so that you can have the grounded energy to move forward. Now, through this process, you'll know what it is 100%, because your intuition's going to tell you which road to go. And your intuition's actually already told you. It's just you haven't completed the cycle. And you do have the strength connected to it, and it can be directly connected to a Leo. Can be a fire sign as well. Yeah. Just saying if I've got additional messages. Okay, on to the singles. But if you're wanting a booking, see if we can dig deep. I was looking at the time thinking, how long is this one? One of the videos was 44 minutes. I'm like, how did that happen? You guys are feeling very grounded, very passionate. You're questioning something connected to a person or a love interest. And your movement, when you're busy, it doesn't bother you. You're sweet. You're like, whatever's going. When you're not is when you think of this person and it drives you absolutely crazy. And again, this will be a particular message for the ones that can directly relate for this. It feels like you're a very, look, at the minute, it's feeling like you're very passionate, very grounded, and it's directly connected to a job or something that you're training to do. Now, whatever you're doing and you're applying yourself to within your own personal life, it actually feels it's going to be a great success. And you're very passionate connected to it. So it's going to happen very quickly. You're going to be very passionate about this forward movement. Now, this can be connected to a person or it can directly be connected to a job. I feel initially it is about a job, and that's something that has taken your fancy, directly connected to perhaps the law or perhaps a judgment that you needed to make, or, you know, something swinging in your favour connected to being single. So it could be a divorce. But it feels something connected to what you're passionate about. You're really happy it's happening, and, you know, all of a sudden your focus is taken off the opposite sex, whatever that be. It can be a Leo that you are interested in, but as I said, the energy I'm feeling is that while you're preoccupied, you're fine. You're not worried. This person thinks they know everything there is to know about you. The ironic thing is they don't, but they will be surprised and they will be interested to know. That's what I'm being shown. But you're very private. So although they think they know you, whoever this person is, they actually don't know you. Okay, so it can be connected to paperwork that you're going to need to fill out, and it can be connected to, you know, for some of you it could be a divorce. For some of you it could directly be connected to any paperwork and legalities that you're dealing with. Again, you could be working in law or studying in law. And it's a cycle that is moving, and it was your destiny that you would live this. But it feels positive, it doesn't feel negative. So however it goes, I do feel the outcome's going to be quite a positive outcome. Connected to where you were and why it's happened is because you were bored with the location and what you were doing previously. In your mind, there was not enough commitment within the situation, or you were not committed enough to the situation for it to go any further. You know, and maybe you felt that this person didn't make the mark connected to who you are and what you want. That's for some of you. So this could be a past tense scenario, or this could be something not evolving the way you felt it should have. If it was somebody you met and it never got off the ground, this situation's directly connected to your frustrations of it not going as far as you would have perhaps liked. But you have the power in your hands to change that around. That is directly connected to divine timing, I'm feeling. And there will be an offer. So I feel it comes at left field when you don't see it, while you're going through this process. So if you have begun this process or already halfway through, this will be relevant to you guys. Okay. There is money connected to this scenario, so this could be connected to a person who is well-to-do, or it could be connected to a business person. And it can be connected to somebody that you had. Now, it doesn't have to be a fling. It could be an actual relationship or as I said, something that didn't completely get off the ground. Pull some romance angel cards. Soulmate. Okay, the outcome is more than likely for some of you, this might end up being a person that you end up being with. Now they're saying this could be a past scenario. So either from here, where it's a past scenario, or physically from a past life scenario of a soulmate connection I'm feeling. Keep going, make the effort. Every step you're doing, even if you feel there's no movement, there actually is movement, I've been saying. And you're going to have an opportunity to give it a chance. And you're going to have to get to know each other again. Or get to know this person. So if they feel familiar when you meet them, it may be that you have had a connection to them on the other side previously. Okay, go with the flow with it though. Don't feel that you need to, sometimes you're going to be very cautious within readings. And it's the way you directly receive the message and how we as readers actually give the message. So when these things happen, as you change, the outcome changes. So by you going with the flow, if it's divinely guided, it's going to happen without your interference. There's nothing you need to do. Most of what you need to do in your life is spiritual growth, and that can be just an understanding, a personal understanding of what's right for you, what works for you, what you'd like to be. Those things you have control over. Having to manipulate or do something as per se connected to a reading to get a positive outcome, you don't need to do that. The readings aren't really meant to be for that. They're meant to be in a sense of assisting you with clarity. And when you've got blocks and you have a personal reading, a good reader can get you to a point where they can help you see how you can have your personal power to do what you need to do. So, it's saying letting go of control. So you don't actually need to control this situation. Faith is one aspect. A vibration you will actually directly receive internally. So if physically you have a feeling about a scenario, it's basically the universe speaking to you, telling you you're correct, and you need to trust that. People can tell you you're nuts, but ultimately, if it keeps nagging at you, you're having a communication with the universe, and you don't need anyone to tell you you're Barney, and it will connect with a deep connection. Okay, so if you're feeling this connected to a person, please do trust this, because when you have a connection with a human being, it's called plugging. That's what I call it. So you have this energy between you, and when you remove it, you're still deeply connected. So telepathically, you can physically still communicate and feel the connection like a phone. So if you're vibrationally feeling that, please trust what you're hearing. Otherwise, book a reading and I'll give you a hand.